10-4. Welcome back, lap 20. Hopefully the stream's a little bit better. I'm not sure why it was chopping up, but we're just doing the best we can here. Quick rundown, top 5. Josh Conover, Shane Weinmiller, Nick Geiler, Jason Brewer, and Roy Crump, who is now falling back, and Ethan Lane's taking over 5th place.
Alright, it seems like everybody in the chat saying it's working now, so we should be good to go.
Awesome.
It's still a learning experience for all of us, where everybody at NORA's just now trying to learn all the broadcasting stuff, and it just takes some time, but eventually we'll all have it figured all out.
Appreciate everyone's patience. Just make sure whoever is watching broadcast, you streaming quality-wise at least 720. And then when I checked on my phone, it auto to 480. So that would definitely cause some blur issues. That's the only other thing I can think of. Make sure your quality is set right. And we got the Lane Tucker train up to 2-3. And I think they're going to be hard to beat unless they get caught up in a wreck.
And it seems like Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker has worked their way back up the front, and now they're going to be battling with Josh Conover to see if they can take the lead back over.
The fight is so interesting watching them going through the corner. Ethan really hugs the yellow line, and Dalton lets the car stay on. I don't know if it's an aero issue or he's just trying to be easier on the tires. Just lap after lap, you see.
As we're working on lap number 25 now, it seems like we're back to where we have the 2 packs and the first pack, which is seems like it also is again now just 7 cars, and then past them you have the second pack.
Yeah, about 8 cars and 2 cars hanging off the back of that, and then you got another pack from 15th to 17th, 3 cars just riding around out back. I think now for once we're going to see these guys ride. I wouldn't be surprised to see them click off a bunch of laps without trying to do anything, but just click those laps off. I know he's dropped on the radio a little bit, and Conover actually offered up the lead to Lane, and he said he was all set, just ride.
I think most of them are thinking that it's going to be a long race, and if you want to be there at the end to win it, yeah, your car's got to be in one piece. So
I can't really say I'm surprised with anyone in the top 5 right now.
yeah, our top 5 is everybody that's in the top 5 right now currently ran the duels yesterday, and they all had really good runs in the duels. Which Dalton Tucker, I think he would have been a contender for the win, but he had a unsafe pit entry during duel number 2, and that cost him. He had to sit on pit lane for I think it was almost a minute.
Yeah, we'll see. Very interested to see if that happens during the race. That can happen very easily. These cars are carrying a lot of speed. Like we've talked about several times, the brakes are not very good. Well, we got a couple guys watching. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, give us your winner pick and your dark horse in chat. Let us know what you're thinking. What about you, Alex? Who would you pick?
I really like these top 4. I don't know which one of the top 4 is going to be able to do it, but I think it's going to be one of these, either Josh Conover, Ethan Lane, Dalton Tucker, or Shane. I think it's going to be one of them to win it this evening. They've all been shown strong early in this race, and they all had really good runs during the duels.
Yeah, I can't fault your logic there. You could pretty much take any 4 of them, put their name in a hat, and pick one, and that wouldn't be a bad pick. I think if we're gonna go dark horse, kind of like Matthew George. He's just riding in that second pack right now, being safe, being careful. He always has that easygoing approach. You never really see him until the end of the race. I don't think he's going to get mixed up in too much stuff if he can keep it clean. I wouldn't be surprised to see him battling for the win.
Yeah, and we saw that even in our first duel yesterday. That was Jason Brewer. Actually came home second during the duel number 1 because of a wreck that happened between second and third. So sometimes it just pays to be in the right place at the right time and just avoiding the wrecks.
And we see Josh slide back to 4th. Looks like he finally got tired of being worn out off the front end of that 26 machine, and he just let him go. Man, you could really hear them playing with the throttle. We got Scotty Stevens in the chat, picking Josh for the win, and Kevin Roy as his dark horse. Go back and look at Roy here. He's running 14th. He's got a little damage on the side of that car. He's just chilling in that second pack. I hope he's got all his optional fixed, but like we said before, if he's up there with a chance at the end, who knows what's going to happen? You know there's going to be a wreck. That front pack is just checking out. Wasn't but a few laps ago they had a 3-second gap. It's up to 4.3 now. The leader to Matthew George in 8th. Who's now getting passed.
It seems like now it'll be Shane up to the lead. He passes Dalton. Dalton drops down and lets everybody pass him, and he's back to 4th now.
Ooh, Shane Bell got that wall. thinking this is probably the longest in a fuel run we've got. So those tires got to be absolutely screaming.
Can you imagine if we do stay green here? Is everybody just going to get fuel only again, or will they take tires during the green flag stop? And
I think there is no way you can pit under green here and not take tires if you run a full fuel load. I would be highly surprised. Maybe if this was the new Daytona layout with the extra grip in the corners, but I cannot just imagine anyone not taking tires. It's looking like we're on lap 15 of this run. We're getting close to the halfway mark. Ethan Lane back to the lead.
you were talking about that gap that the this first pack has gained over the second pack. Now it looks like it's up to 3.5 seconds. Be from Nick all the way back to Martin Puig.
That lead change, we really saw a difference in the time, so we got another one going on right now. But that second pack cut about 8/10 off of the leaders.
Yeah,
I'll
just
be
when,
interested to see if that happens again this lap.
which it does seem like they're catching them because now they're down to 2.4.
46.2 for Ethan Lane. Martin Pluth put in a 44.4. That's a 2-second difference. I think they might even be close enough to catch the draft on the backside of that top group.
So now we have a battle for second as Dalton Tucker goes under Brian Powell to take over second. And Ethan Lane has dropped back to fourth now as Josh Conover is our leader.
So is Ethan saving his stuff or is he worn his stuff out? Running that bottom the whole run. Another battle for second at checkup. Last time by, that second group is down to 2.6 seconds. This time off the leader, they are sitting at 2.3. So the leaders definitely got their stuff together a little bit, but that back group might not be ready to grab.
I think where they were running kind of side by side and weren't all single file, it really allowed that second group that is mainly running single file to really catch them on those last laps. If if they keep doing that, as Brian Powell goes past Dalton Tucker for the lead now.
Oh, they're here now. Martin's pulling up on the back of him. Last time by into 3, he was clocked at 2:18. That is moving. As here he goes, he's making a run. Looks like he might be settling in. I thought he was going to try to carry that momentum, see how far forward he can go, but I think he might be happy now that he actually caught the back. Dalton Tucker back to the lead. So
That
you
was,
pretty much have from first to 12th all in line with the draft, and 13th and 14th are not quite on the backside of them, but they're still within draft range. And then we got 15th through 18th are our last three on the lead lap. They are 18 seconds behind the leaders right now.
as Dalton Tucker's kind of pulled away from the pack. He's 7/10 back to Ethan Lane, which I'm sure they'll be able to reel him in real easy since he's out there by himself.
He's definitely digging. And I really do wonder that difference in line that they ran throughout most of this run. Is that giving Dalton a little bit better tires? He wasn't nearly binding the car down on the yellow as much as Ethan was. Now we got the front two trying to check out from everyone else. That's a very dangerous sight. If there are any two cars on this track you don't want to see get hooked up and work together, it's definitely the top two right now.
Oh, yep.
Because they have the skill and the ability to definitely work together well enough, I think, to pull away.
And as we get closer and closer to time for pit stops, you gotta think they're trying to think is if they can get out as far as they can, then it's going to help them on pit road also.
The key question here is going to be who messes up. So last time by, Dalton leading ran a 43.3 and Ryan Powell ran a 43.9. Over half a second difference. They're hooking up. Third and fourth. They're kind of pulling away from fifth and sixth.
Yeah, it's Brian Powell and Josh Conover. So maybe they're going to try to work together and see if they can get up there and track down Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane. And not let them be able to check out.
43.4 to a 44.0. Man. We have caution. I see the 57 car around.
Yeah, we'll try to do a replay and see if we can catch that.
And that's just help spin. Same thing we saw earlier.
Oh, yeah. This gets a loose going into one and does that where it gets down on the apron just since it shoots it right back up the track. As everybody catches a pace truck, I'd be sure of it that everybody will be coming in and surely be getting tires and fuel.
Well, we're about a quarter of the way through the race now. I think anyone who hasn't taken tires are definitely going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's hitting pit road.
As we'll get ready and we'll watch the battle off of pit lane to see if Dalton Tucker can beat everybody or if we'll have a new leader.
Dalton's got the right sides up. Left side's definitely 4 for him. We'll know if anyone beats him out that they took at least 2, if not fewer.
Does seem like Dalton Tucker does get it out of the pit box first. And he will
4
be the
tires
first one.
all around. Speaking of Dalton Tucker, he's going to be our quarter race leader. Let's go ahead and get him on up here.
All right.
Dalton Tucker, Alex and Josh in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, I prefaced what we saw happen about 5 laps before it did. You and Ethan hooked up, checked out. Was that premeditated or just a matter of circumstance?
It was kind of just a happened. So I saw what was happening. I was like, I kind of want to see how big of a lead we can get.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. You guys were pulling 6 cents a lap on everyone else, and I see you once again coming down. Is this strategy or are you worried about fuel? What's going on here?
Just go to the back. It's really no strategy behind it.
I gotcha. So we have our assumptions watching the race, but maybe you can give us a clue in what's it like being out there going around this track.
It's fast, loose, and scary.
Are you intentionally running the middle line where we see Ethan Lane running the bottom?
I kind of just run where it feels comfortable. Bottom or middle feels pretty good.
Well, all right, man. We appreciate it. We'll get you back in your room, and good luck.
Thanks, man.
That was Dalton Tucker.
And as he does come down that pit lane for the second time, it's going to move Shane up to first.
So I'm thinking most people still have 5 sets of tires left. We're a quarter of the way through the race. I'll be interested if we get a couple 20-lap runs and then a caution if people start using them tires up. Here we are going back green. Everyone did a good job. Kind of got my eye on Dalton right here. He's restarting 10th. How patient is he going to be getting back up through the field? See Nick Gillis go to the lead. Ethan and Tucker hooked back up here. Give 6th place. Give 5th place. Give 4th place. Yeah, these guys are just carving up, going right through everybody. I imagine they're not getting too big of a fight right now from everybody, but it's still impressive to see. 2 laps after restart, they're from 10th and 12th up to 3rd and 4th. They're not done yet.
Yep, as Dalton goes underneath Shane to try to take away second.
And first, coming out of 2.
It does look like Hillman and Ethan Lane are going to be able to do it, so now they're back up towards the front.
Man, I hope these boys weren't sleeping in our last run. They let them get up to the lead, and if they don't hang on, we're just going to have another checkout. We saw the speed these 2 cars had just running by themselves.
As Kevin Roy, he got loose coming out of 4. He was able to save it, and he's running through the infield right now, but it doesn't seem like it brought out a caution. He's able
He
to
did a
save
hell
it.
of a job saving it. Unfortunately, that's going to give him an unsafe pit entry. He will have a black flag. Question, where did Conover go?
I was actually just looking at that, and he's all the way back to 13th now. So you gotta think if maybe that's his strategy, if he's, or I don't really know. So Jason Brewer gets a little bit loose in front of him.
I didn't really notice if he followed Ethan and Dalton down pit road to top off and be at the back. But if he did, maybe he got hung up trying to get through the field, and now he's just decided, hey, why not just ride? We have noted that the second pack can catch up to the lead pack.
Yep. As now we do have a new leader. It's Payne Faust is up to the lead. Him and Nick got around Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane.
I'm honestly surprised with the speed in that 13 vehicle. We see some crumpled up on the right front, which isn't horrible, but on that right rear bumper, this definitely jacked up a little bit. I would have thought that would be a little bit more hindrance than what it's seemed to be so far. Car seems to be handling all right.
I know yesterday during the duels, everybody said that these cars are a lot like tanks. They can take a lot of abuse, so I guess that's just that just proves the point that as he gets
Oh
loose,
no! Oh, is he gonna hold on to it? What a whale of a job holding on to that.
he's still getting loose. But it does look
He's
like he's
got
gonna
it.
be able to save it. So great save by him.
So far, that's definitely the save of the race.
Yep. He's been able to do one thing that everybody else hasn't that's gotten loose is get on to the apron and not shoot it back up onto the track.
I think the biggest thing is he didn't try to fight it back to the right once he was sideways, especially as he approached the apron. He just kind of kept the wheel neutral and stayed out of the throttle.
Yep. As I believe everybody was checking up for him just in case if he did do that. It gave Nick and Dalton Tucker a one and a half second gap on the third place.
Who has no help. Although he's still getting a tow because he's doing 207, 208, and that's roughly the same speed as the leaders. as Nick gets way loose, so he's definitely going to catch him now. Nick saves it. And, wow. What a weird turn of events this last couple laps.
So now we talked
No,
about before is Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane. They're back hooked up together, and I'm sure they're going to try now to work together and see how big of a lead they can get.
I think it's checkout time for these two. I'll check the interval at the line, but they have a whale of a gap over third. Almost 2 seconds, 1.8 over third place. And these guys, third, fourth, fifth, they're together, but they're not really formed up, so they're not going to be making the speed that the top two are making.
Yep. As I believe they've been kind of riding in the back, and now this is now they're up to the top 5. You got Cody McKinney, Joseph McKinney, and Matthew George.
Yeah, they're riding about a car length off each other, half a car length. You got Ethan and Dalton a quarter of a car length off each other. They lost a whole second that lap. Oh man, these boys better hope this doesn't stay green.
Yep. That gap is up now to 3.3 seconds.
There's nothing wrong with what this backpack is doing. Just riding together, trying to help each other, but they're not riding with the urgency that the front two are riding to check away. So until we see a caution or something happens, right now it's bye-bye to the top two, and I guess hope you don't get lapped.
As we're watching the blimp camera now, and you can definitely see how much of a lead that they do have on them.
It is almost a full straightaway at this point. That is insane.
Because as of right now, they're coming out of turn 4, and your third place in them are about middle of turn 3 and 4, so they definitely are having a lead, and it looks like it just keeps growing and growing.
0.7 of a second that time. So they've organized a little bit better, but they're still losing time, as now they have a 4-car second pack. They got a bigger pack behind them, kind of closing in, but if we can't get someone at the front of this pack, two guys that can really work together well, yeah, they're just going to be battling for third for a long time. It may seem silly, we're stressing over this so much, lap 61 of 200, but you've been in a lot of these races, I've been in a lot of these races. We've got the wrecking out of the way. It has a great green flag feel to it. If this thing stays green, they're just in trouble. That's what I worry about.
Oh yeah, and we're doing the like how the NASCAR used to be with no stages, so you know there's no guaranteed yellow. So I mean, who knows? We could be done wrecking, and it could stay green from here on out. But so you never know.
Yeah, and as talented as those top two guys are, you don't expect them to make a mistake coming to pit road. Don't get me wrong, it can definitely happen, but you don't expect it, so you don't count on that. And if you're pitting in a pack, you have a lot higher chance of something going wrong.
As of now, watching that third pack, and Nick is leading them with Conover behind him pushing. You gotta imagine they're surely should be catching the second pack, and I think if all of them work together, they should be able to catch Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane. But they're gonna have to go now if they want to catch them.
Yeah, we'll see. These cars are definitely not like the newer ones where the more you have packed up together, the faster you go. We can just see that by the lap times. We get right now, 2 cars are outrunning 4. Can they organize enough, get the right guy leading, the right guy running second to close down this time? They just ran a 44.5, and Ethan and Dalton ran a 43.8, so it's still 7/10 of a second. I've been on both sides of this situation. If you're the front two, you're loving life. You just want it to keep going. If you're running probably third to fifth, you might not be too upset with what's going on, depending on your initial strategy for the race. And the guys out back, they probably don't care, but if they see those front two starting to close up on them, they're definitely going to be wanting a caution.
Oh yeah.
Remember, there are no lucky dogs in the 87 series, so unless you get a wave around by staying out over the leaders, you're going to have to earn it the hard way, just like they used to.
And it being in Daytona, that's gonna make it a lot harder than what it'd be if we were like at a shorter track.
Absolutely. Someone would have to. I mean, you'd get the benefit of the doubt to start on the bottom during the restart, but you would have to get the lead and kind of run aggressive, super aggressive, to try to stay in front of the field and hope for that caution. We do not have the running back to the line rule like they used to have. Like, you kind of bank on that. If that were the case, I can't imagine the leaders wouldn't let you go. But where it's cautions out and you're froze where you're at, they have to be in front of the leader. So that would make things very entertaining and highly dangerous. Actually, the second group, they kind of broke away from the third group, who's broke away from the back four. We got our whole little mini packs going on right now.
Yeah. It does seem like now that second pack is running faster lap times than they were. They're still not faster than Dalton Tucker in either lane, but they are 2/10 faster than what they were before.
Yes, they are, and that's that third pack. They're still running about 44.7s. So we went green on 49. We're coming up on 20 laps. Should be this time by. So we're a little over half a fuel run right now. See if the character of the car becomes uncontrollable for anyone. We already know how loose they're running. A little bobble in that second pack. Matthew George got shuffled. He's gonna be gobbled up here by Conover and company.
Which that may help that third pack if him and Conover can get work together. Maybe they can start working down and.
Absolutely. And they're a little dicey up here for third, so that's costing them time. Matthew George just towing the other boys along, and he's caught up to him now. I think the best bet you're going to want for this group, if you can get some sort of combination of Matthew George and Josh Conover leading this train, they might make a difference on the front two. I know they work really well together. They got a lot of practice helping each other. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. As they have caught the second pack, so now it's what was just a 4-car, it turned into a 3-car. Now we got all pretty much from third all the way back to, I believe it's Brian Powell is the last car in that pack, and he's in 12th.
So we got 9 cars trying to work together to catch 2. That tells you how crazy this car is.
Which is still is early and anything can happen, but I'm sure that all these guys that are in this main pack, they're definitely learning something from this to later in the race if there does happen to be another caution to not let Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane.
Oh, Roy Crump hit the wall leading this pack. Coming out of the trial, but looks like he clipped the apron. He doesn't really have too much damage, but he definitely went up and scraped the wall, scrubbed some speed off. Luckily, no one got wrecked. He was able to get his momentum going again. He's still leading this pack.
As we was watching that, Ethan Lane has gotten around Dalton Tucker, and now he'll be our new leader.
I do wonder, we already know how loose these cars are, how sensitive they are to air. Ethan being tucked up on Dalton that whole first part of this run. I almost wonder if that kind of wore out Dalton's rear end a little bit, and he's kind of wanting to settle in behind him, so use up the front tire some. You're gonna get that aero push riding right behind someone, so that'll put a little bit more heat on his front tires. Maybe it'll bring the balance of his car back to where he wants it.
So now we're watching the second pack, and Matthew George and Josh Conover's pulled up to the front, so I think now they're kind of realizing it's time to go.
Well, this is what we've been waiting for. The question is, did it take too long, and can they make a difference? This time by the line, they are sitting at 13.3 seconds behind the front two, which is absolutely insane to say at Daytona, but that's the case. Conover might get shuffled here. These guys, you think they'd want to get together and work something out, but they're not playing real nice right now. Another second loss, them battling like that.
Now as Josh Conover looks on the underside of Matthew George.
I think Conover wants to lead this train. I wouldn't be surprised if Matthew lets him go right here. You see Josh get the pass down going. Drags along Martin Plute, another guy that works really well with him. And another second loss. It's crazy how much them battling like this, how much time it's costing them. I mean, really, they are a quarter of a lap down right now. Leaders are crossing the line now.
Up in the second pack is they just now got into turn 3. They're in the middle of turn 3 and 4 now, so shows how much of a lead that their top two, Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker, has pulled on them.
If no one could see the standings right now and they didn't know any better, and you just focused in on Josh Conover, you would think this is the battle for the lead. That's how far out in front the front two are. You cannot see them on webcam, on chopper cam, on anything. They're just gone. Now you see what happened to that second pack. A couple of the guys that are able to hold their line and run together well got to the front. It's really increased the speed for them. And they've shaken out a bunch of the people out of the second pack that we had roughly 10 cars. You have what, 5 now in the front of this pack?
Yep. Yeah, it looks like the 5 would be led by Josh Conover, and then on the tail end be Matthew George.
we're coming up on 30 laps in this run. Next time by, I believe they should be at lap 30. We speculated somewhere around 35 laps on a tank. It's about to get interesting here in the next 6 to 8 laps. You don't want it to happen, but you gotta know somebody's gonna mess up. Just gotta do your best in that car to make sure it's not you.
Yep. And you gotta imagine with Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker running much faster lap times, if maybe they're using more fuel than the rest of these guys are, if these guys are trying to save. So, well, I'm sure here in the next 5 to 10 laps we'll be able to tell uh, who's saving fuel and who's not.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting for sure. And that could be part of the reason why they switched too. Figured, you know, the guy in second is helping push them along, but he's getting to save some fuel. They did pretty much switch halfway through the fuel run, from Dalton leading to now Ethan leading. So maybe they're just trying to help each other out, make sure no one has to short pit over the other guy. They're still running 43.7s. .44.2s for Conover. So, I mean, they are a little bit quicker with this combo running the second pack. Instead of 7 to 8 tenths a lap, they look to be about 5 tenths slower than Ethan and Dalton. So it's not enough, but it's an improvement. You know they're learning right now. They're doing the best they can to figure out what they need to do to prevent this from happening should we have another caution. I think at that point you're going to be in emergency mode and you need to stick with Dalton and Ethan, and if possible you need to break them up. They're working way too well together.
Yeah. And as now we're watching Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker, and just ahead of them you can see 2 lap cars. I think that's Alexander and Kevin Roy.
Unfortunately for the second pack, this is going to give them a little bit of a tow for a couple laps. So their speeds are going to pick up. They're going to lay down a couple quicker lap times here. Depending on how quick they catch these front two, will depend on how much of a speed boost they get. The guys in front of them are running 2 seconds almost slower a lap than Ethan and Dalton. Obviously both these guys have a little bit of damage. They've had their fair share of issues tonight, but it's just crazy how fast those front two are running. Now we have Payne Faust. He's leading the second pack. He got around Conover. What a recovery for this guy, huh? It wasn't that long ago we were saying how he was sideways wrecking his car. Somehow he's got it gathered up, got back in the pack. Now he's running third again.
Yep.
He's just straight up wheeling this car. See Dalton and Ethan go around those other 2 cars. 45 of Edelman. 89 of Kevin Roy. They're the only 2 vehicles on track right now that are off the lead lap currently. I heard Ethan over the radio saying about 2 more laps on this run.
So we'll try to keep an eye out for that and see when they pit, and then see when the second pack, see when they pit, see if there's a big difference in them.
They're completing lap 37 right now, so it looks like the fuel mileage is a little bit better than we thought. If they're pitting this time, that'll put them at 38 laps. I heard the 13 who's running third come across saying he's pitting. Let's see if he's gonna get woed up. He's on the binders hard. Oh boy. He sped. He had to have sped.
And it also looks like he's going to be the only one to come down, so you gotta imagine that's going to hurt him.
There, the leaders come. They were kind of ribbing on each other, saying don't speed. And looks like Ethan made it, and Dalton made it. So I can imagine they're going to take 4. If you want to keep an eye on that, you can. I'm going to watch the second pack, see if they're coming down.
Oh, and
They're
it does.
still running.
So now your new leader's going to be Josh Conover.
So I guess maybe he was saving throughout that run, or the difference in pace, like you were saying. So far, it's at least 1 lap better fuel. They complete lap 38.
And it
Couple
does
of
look
them.
like Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker did take tires, and now they're coming off pit lane.
They're working lap 39 right now of this run. Got a couple guys coming over the radio saying they're pitting. Let's see, is Josh Conover pitting? No, he's staying out. So this is 39. They're going to start in lap 40, getting good fuel mileage. Is he going to try to Darrell Waltrip this? You can't beat him on speed, beat him on fuel mileage.
So as of right now, it looks like it's our top 7, which would be Josh Conover, Martin Plute, Matthew George, Shane, Jason Brewer, Nick, and Brian
They're coming
Powell.
this time. Josh Conover just came over the radio saying he's out of fuel. He tried to do 40 laps and he ran out. He made it to pit road. Hopefully he doesn't get a speeding penalty. We'll see what happens.
It seems
Gotta
like
be
he's
holding
brought
that
everybody
clutch
with
in.
him.
Don't slide through that box. That would be detrimental for sure. Looks like he made it in. So 40 laps, I'm thinking is the absolute max.
As Ethan Lane and
Everyone.
Dalton Tucker goes by, so they're going to have the lead back again. And it looks like Martin Plute was the one to win the race off of pit lane.
So something interesting for you. I watched a couple of those guys come in and pit. They did not take tires.
Oh wow.
I would have never guessed it. Color me definitely surprised, but they did not take tires.
Looks like Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker didn't either then, because according to mine, they all had around the same pit stop times, around 17 seconds.
Yeah, I just went back and watched Ethan's pit stall. He did not take tires either. I am extremely surprised. So here's a very interesting thing. Over the radio, I heard the top two say they are just barely short of doing it on 2 more stops. We saw them pit 4 or 5 laps sooner than everyone else that stretched it. They are definitely going to be good for 2 more stops. Do you think Ethan and Dalton can save that fuel?
It's a possibility. They do still have a massive lead, so I think they got enough of a lead to be able to save some. Because right now they have a 25.5 second lead on third place. So I think if they're wanting to save it, they're gonna have to keep on to this lead, but also try to save here on the back end, as long as we don't get a caution and it stays green.
I see something in front of them that I think is going to make saving a lot easier. They have a 3-car pack running in front of them. I wouldn't be surprised at all, especially with a 25-second lead. They catch up to these back 3, and they just ride there for a little while, saving fuel. We got the McKinney boys and McFadden all running together, backside of the lead lap right here, with Roy and Nick just in front of them. So that's almost a 5-car train. And the way Ethan's closing down with Dalton, they're going to catch them here not too long. We're going to have to keep an eye on them, see if they just sit and ride behind them. I think they're close enough now. They're getting that draft. Dalton and Ethan have officially caught up to that backpack. We'll see what happens. Do they push on through and keep charging, or they ride? 22's letting them by. No signs of slowing down yet. Doesn't look like Ethan wants to ride behind him. He's making moves.
Yeah, as they go along the outside of the McKinneys.
So here's the conundrum. Do you want to save fuel and know you can make it on 2 stops, or you just want to keep blitzing forward, putting as big of a gap as you can on the chance that, well, we have a caution out, so never mind. Strategy's out the window.
And looks like Kevin Roy, he was stopped on the backstretch. We'll go back and see if we can see what happened.
Yeah, looks like he just gets a little wide off of 2. Smacks the wall and just kind of pulled him around. He did come over the radio and apologize, but man, that's a tough break. He's had a rough night.
It also looked like Peyton Faust. He did like the exact same thing, same corner.
Oh yes, I'm seeing that now.
And he got super close to that inside wall, but was able to save it.
He did too. What a job. Well, we just pit on the green. We saved a set of tires. I think now it's time to take 4.
Yep.
And what I was wondering with these guys, they were pushing so damn hard. I wonder if they were thinking they could get a big enough lead, they could come out and still have the lead. That, or if we did have a caution, there are no lucky dogs. You trap everyone on the tail end of the lead lap. What do you got to lose?
As Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker do come down. It does seem like everybody that's on the lead lap does come down pit lane.
Ethan's taking rights right now. And 4 tires. Want to talk to Conover?
Sure, we'll bring him on up here.
Conover, is Josh and Alex in the booth? You got a copy?
I do.
Well, it's kind of a blessing in disguise having that caution. How nervous were you starting to get?
Not really nervous. We were just kind of, actually, we had just said something. We'll either need them to mess up on pit road or get a caution, and then Kevin, I don't even know what happened. I guess he hit the wall or just lost it, but it'll help for sure. I know we still got 2 stops from here. I don't know, still, a long way. 2 pit stops, and these things don't like to slow down for pit road. So if we can kind of stay with them and maybe force them into a mistake getting on the pit road, it might change the outcome.
Now, we've seen when they hook up, they run extremely fast times. They don't let off. You kind of got caught in the middle of the pack in that last run. You're going to be right up there with them this time. Is the plan to try to stay on them?
We'll see. Still, like I said, a long way to go. We're just about coming to halfway now, so there's it's just a lot of time. We'll see what happens.
So how much was you guys trying to save your stuff, or were you really concerned about trying to run them down, or are you just riding?
Kind of just riding. And it really kind of depended in a way. A couple laps we would kind of see what we could do, and then the next lap we would kind of just go back to what we were doing, try not to wreck ourselves. But I don't know, it'll be interesting here for sure. I don't know. It's just, like I said, the big thing is just there's a long race still, and still got to keep the car in one piece. I was saying earlier, and I'm surprised I made it this far.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of craziness, a couple of really good saves out of everybody. It seems like everyone's kind of settled down and got used to the car. The track's definitely taking rubber. Has that helped any?
I think so. I know I've seen the track temps going down to I think 89 right now, and like you said with the rubber, it definitely could tell, at least for me, and I think Martin was saying something about it as well. We could feel the car getting tight, and then at the end of that run, it seemed like it loosened back up again. As the car got lighter. So definitely seeing the transition. I know, like I said, I was definitely tight off of 2 real bad, and a couple times I almost put it in the fence. So kind of have to keep an eye on that and manage that, as well as obviously trying to hopefully stay with Ethan.
Absolutely. You got anything for him before I ask him one more question, Alex?
No, I think you got it all. Just good
All
luck out
right.
there.
I gotta know, what is the thought process between the no tire stop under green?
I don't know. We were back and forth because it was getting tight. And then, like I said, it started to get loose right there before we pitted. So we were debating tires, and then we were kind of just like, we'll just go fuel and kind of see, excuse me, where we come out. But the caution kind of saved us per se. So we came down, topped it off, and then put tires on. So I still got 4 sets. I think Martin and actually most guys should have 4 sets still. So tires shouldn't be an issue, but you never know. We'll see.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Hello.
That was Josh Conover. Is currently sitting P3.
Yeah, as I was looking, I believe Dalton Tucker brought it back down pit lane, so now he's going to be starting ninth. So you gotta imagine this is going to help everybody else for him and Ethan Lane not to be able to start behind each other to be able to hook up.
Here we are going back green.
And as we take the green, we're officially on our halfway point.
Interesting. This time, Dalton came back down, topped off. Ethan Lane did not. That's good news right now for the rest of the field, not worrying about them hooking up and taking off, but I wonder if that's going to play any factor on fuel mileage.
As going into one, Josh gets underneath Ethan Lane and take away the lead.
I was watching Dalton on this restart. He did get a little bit of tail end damage. I don't know if he got any front end damage, but there's a little bit of a checkup in front of him. He lightly bumped the guy in front of him and he got hit in the rear. They were saying these cars are tanks, so they probably shouldn't affect the speed too much, but I wonder if that'll do anything to his handling.
And as you were saying that, coming off the four, you got a little bit loose.
I understand his strategy topping off, but it definitely comes with the risks, as we see. We got a little bit of damage now, and I guess it's at the point: is it worth it to risk it? He's gonna get stuck behind this 89 car. Looks like 13 is gonna play nice. Let him on the bottom. 89 just lets him go, and here comes Dalton. Hammer down. Well, we're down to only one guy in between Dalton and Ethan. I heard Josh say he was just going to ride. He wasn't really going to try to stick with him too hard to push the issue. We'll see how true he was talking. Nice pass for the lead. Ethan Lane got the apron out of four. Did a little four-wheel drift. Now he's trying to charge back on Josh's outside. Let's see if Dalton jumps up and tries to follow.
And it seemed like Martin Plute got into the wall going into one there.
Ooh, he's definitely off speed. He's trying to pick up speed again, but he definitely hit it. Let's see how much that affects his race going forward. He definitely lost the draft. He had a good race going up to that point too. Let's see if he can recover. 5-car breakaway right now. So far, they've done a lot better job sticking with the top two. See Nick Gillis go another lap down. He was running in the top 5 points this race. Shame to see him now 2 laps down. And Martin has decided to take the car and retire. Must have hurt it a lot more than we were thinking. And look who's up in third now. That 13 car, Payne. That guy's definitely been wheeling his car this whole race.
Yep, he's had 2 major saves and it's been, for the most part, up towards the front.
I was starting to think he'd be the one guy if he could ever get track position. I think could probably stick with these top 2 as hard as he's been driving. And so far, it's working out. We see actually Conover and Weinmiller. You know, they decided they didn't want to run 25 seconds a lap down, so they're just kind of riding up there in the front too, trying not to make any silly moves to let Ethan and Dalton get a separation.
It does seem like, which we've only gone 8 laps, but it does seem like I've done a lot better job of not letting those 2 check out.
Kind of checked out from Weinmiller to see if he can pull back up on him or not. As we got a pass potentially for the lead.
And it does look like Dalton's going to be able to get the lead from Ethan.
Ooh, and here comes 13 going around Ethan. Wonder if Ethan's decided, hey, I didn't top off. I should probably save a little fuel here. All that shifting and racing against each other has brought Matthew George back up to this pack, so we're sitting at 6 cars now instead of 4. Oh, what a save by Dalton. I thought that was going to the inside wall. So now the question is that the damage he got, or was that Ethan being right up on him? Or
Yeah.
maybe both.
Which we've seen that a lot out of these cars, especially coming out of the 2. It seems like they like to push a lot and they get into that outside wall. So it seems like once again we broke it into 2 packs. Just first pack's a lot more than what it was, being 6 cars, and it's first through 6, and then second pack is a 3-car pack with Brian Powell, Jason Brewer, and Roy Crump.
I took a peek back at those 3, and yeah, they're well behind and they're losing time. But if you actually look at their vehicles, they're clean, and I think that's very important. They're just saving their stuff. They're just riding. They understand there's still 87 laps to go in this race. We've probably not had our last caution. Maybe we have, but they might be banking on the fact that we haven't. And they're doing a whale of a job. Doesn't look like there's any damage on any of those vehicles. They're just riding it out, waiting for their opportunity.
Oh, yeah. And we saw it the last long green flag run we had, that by staying back there and running a little bit slower lap times, it does save fuel. So maybe if we do stay green, they'll be able to run more green flag laps in between pit stops, and that could put them in the right spot there at the end.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, there's definitely a science to it as far as how far you fall behind to what you can potentially make up. So we'll have to see about that. It's going to be a little bit dangerous with the amount of time they'll lose in a lap if they are able to somehow pull any pit stop shenanigans. But I don't think it's going to be big enough of a difference unless it was a full less pit stop, which I don't think that's going to be the case. It sounded like it was in a 2-stop window. They might be looking at best to maybe take a quarter of a gallon or a tank less fuel, and I don't think that's going to make a big enough difference in pit road to what they're losing on track.
Yeah.
They're definitely they're talking about how loose they're getting when someone tucks up behind them, corner entry and exit. So the aero definitely plays a factor. The laps wind down, that's only going to pick up. Maybe that's what Brian, Jason, and Roy are counting on, is these guys are going to start getting really aggressive near the end of the race. Something's going to happen. Maybe take out 1 or 2 of these top guys that have been there all night long, and that's when they're really going to have their opportunity to make something happen. We see Ethan Lane coming up second. Barely clears 13. Now Ethan's going for the lead.
And it does look like he's going to be able to get him.
Set of corners. These boys finally realized they can't let these top 2 check out. The question just is, can they actually do anything about it? We're going to find out right here.
As of right now, it just seems like really everybody's just kind of rotting. And they know it's still a long race. We coming up, we'll have 80 laps to go.
Definitely seems like a happiest ride. Well, we've made it 3/5 of the way through this race now.
And we're slowly coming on when should expecting some pit stops. Say within the 15 laps, 15 to 20 laps. So like you talked about before, you gotta be perfect, and that's even on pit lane. Make sure you don't get any penalties, because that can be your race.
Absolutely. So they went green on 100. Looking 134 to 139, I would think, would be the window. So, like you said, we got somewhere 12 to 16 laps. Be interested to see what happens. Are they going to come back down and take no tires again? Seemed to work the first time. This time, those top two guys, they're not going to be pitting by themselves. And even if they do short pit the other guys a lap sooner, they don't have all that space to back off each other and to give each other room to low down early. They got 4 other guys breathing right down their neck this time. Is that going to create a mistake? And I get nervous seeing Matthew George, the amount of gap he gives up to 5th place, and every time I think he's going to lose the draft, and he's just able to get right back to him. Not missing much the rest of the field. Still got Roy, Brian, and Jason all just kind of running together. 17 seconds back now. Cody McKinney's 21 seconds back, 22. He's the only other car on the lead lap. Other than that, Mark on the 22's riding around 4 laps down. Nick Gillis running around. Excuse me, 6 laps down. Kevin Roy's 3 laps down. He's about to go another lap down, so make that 4. Joseph McKinney is sitting on pit road, 22 laps down. Not on track at this current time. So I'm going to put the pressure on you, Alex.
All right.
You know, with with basically one stop, it would be 2 from here on out. But you could do 70 laps comfortably. Where we're at right now, I'm pretty sure they could probably go the distance stopping here one more time. When do you pull the trigger?
For this first pit stop,
Yep.
if it was me out there, I think I'd want to split the difference. So I try to have it so it'd be, which we know they can do 35 laps on a tank of fuel. So I think I'd come in around with 70 to go. So here in the next few laps.
Just as you say that, 13 comes over the radio, said he's pitting. So he's probably 2 laps shorter than what you were thinking. But he's along the same mindset.
We'll see if he
they can go probably another 6 to 10 laps from here. So he's definitely on the shorter end of the pit cycle. And he's by himself.
Yep, so that's not going to help him any at all.
He did get on pit road clean, so there is that. He
It
got
also
into his box, no problem.
And it doesn't look like there's any takers from the second pack of the 3 car. Or the 3 car, so he will be the only one on pit lane so far.
Yep, they blew right by pit road, said not right now, I'm not ready. Here comes the leaders off 4. And no takers. I wonder how much communication is going on within any of these guys in this front group. Are they talking to each other over the radio, you know, in their own little room? Who's actually working together?
I believe out of these 5 cars that we got up here at the front, I believe 4 of them are all in the same room, so surely you got to think that those 4 are going to be working together. And I'm sure Ethan, he's probably just going to see what they're doing and probably going to try to do the same because you don't want to come down pit lane and be by yourself.
So it looks like Payne did go a lap down, pitting by himself. And he did take tires. So now the question is, we know the back 4 of this front pack are talking together, strategizing. They got Ethan out front where they want him. I tried to pull this move off in one of our league races last year at a plate track. Unfortunately for us as a team that were working together, the guy we were trying to leave out to dry kind of figured out what we're doing and he stopped leading our pack. So we weren't able to surprise him with a pit stop and leave him out there running by himself. Do you think that they would be able to do that, or do you think they're just going to let Ethan know when they're pitting?
Maybe on this first one they may let him know, or they may just. But I think when it comes closer to the end, they have to do that final pit stop. I think maybe then they might think about doing it, because I'm sure that they all know that he's going to be one of the ones to be up front at the end of this, and more than likely have a chance of winning.
Absolutely. It does sound like Brian Powell and Jason Brewer are going to pit this time by. They did come over the radio, let Roy know, so I can imagine he's going to pit with them. Leaders are blown by pit road. They're not interested. I'm going to put my eye on. Oh, Roy came over the radio. He's pitting. Brian's pitting. Jason's pitting. So let's see if there's any mistakes are made for them. Ooh,
Oh, and
I don't
then,
know if Roy sped or not. He'll be close.
yeah, and saw him lock up the tires after the cone, so it's gonna be close. See if he did.
Here comes the leaders, and they are still going by pit road. No interest yet. Right now, they be about lap 35. So I'm watching the second pack that pit. Roy's taking tires. And it doesn't look like the other two are. Look like they're fuel only. There goes Brian. There goes Jason. Roy's still waiting on those tires. Now he's down in the way. You can see the difference. Fuel only versus tires. There's probably 3 seconds, 4 seconds difference waiting in your pit box. Which, that's quite a bit of time on track.
Yeah, as I have it pulled up now, Roy Crump, his pit stop time was 23 seconds even. Jason Brewer with an 18.8, and Brian Powell with a 15.9.
8 seconds between Brian and Roy. Taking tires and not. Leaders still stay. Everyone besides the lead pack right now is a lap down. Unfortunately, I think with Payne short pitting so soon, he's just losing time out there running by himself. He might have got away with that strategy if the top 5 had pit the lap with him or the lap after him.
Yeah. Currently,
And
they seem to be running a 2-second lap faster than he is, so you know that's got to be hurting
absolutely.
him.
We heard Ethan come on the radio say he's pitting this time. They're going around a lap car right now. What's that going to do to the pit stop?
Oh, he was getting loose coming off of 4.
Is he going to be able to slow it down? No, there's no way. He came on the radio, said he's good. I don't know how he managed that, but apparently he made it. We'll see what these guys do. Tires, no tires. Dalton Tucker looks like no tires. Ethan Lane, no tires. Shane, no tires. Conover, no tires. Matthew George, no tires. So I think the guys see the difference in time. Tires versus not. We might be in trouble. We had the back 3 of this top 5 have a little confusion getting off pit road. It cost them space. Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane are going to be hooked up here on exit. This is their chance to break away. We know they're capable of doing it. This is not what those other 3 want to see. They got to get together fast and push up to these 2.
Because you know Ethan Lane's going to be pushing to get onto the back end of Dalton Tucker. As we come through tri-oval, he's there.
He's there. He's not going for a pass either. He's wanting to get right behind him, and it's go time. Sitting at 63 laps to go this time. Let's break away. Let's make this a 2-man race. Best man win. That's what he's thinking. And they're communicating over the radio, trying to decide who's going to lead, who's not going to lead. Ethan wants to lead. Dalton's going to let him by, tuck in.
We'll see this lap by, and we'll see who they're running faster lap times than those 3 other cars. Which it actually does seem like Shane and Josh Conover were 3/10 of a lap faster, so if they can keep doing that, they should be able to catch them.
Well, they need to get in that draft, and they're trying real hard. What happened was Ethan and Dalton swapped. That really slowed them down. This is their one chance. They need to get a sniff of that draft. Conover really needs to stay tucked up to Weinmiller. Weinmiller's fighting the car. He's real loose right now. Conover's going to pass him. This is going to slow them down a lot. This is not what they needed. Yeah, there's 6 mile an hour difference going into turn 1 because of all that in 3 and 4.
Yep, and now that gap has increased to 2.1 seconds from Ethan Lane to Josh Conover.
And they got a couple cars in front of them that they're sniffing the draft off of, so that's going to pull them even harder. I think that's our 3-man pack up there, tail end the lead lap. Nick Gillis might be out of fuel. But we got Mark and Roy. And remember, Roy took tires, so he definitely lost Jason Brewer and Brian Powell. He's got Cody right in front of him. So they're right in front of the leader. I don't think they're going to be able to hold them off.
As Ethan Lane goes underneath.
7 seconds in front of Cody is Jason Brewer, and Brian Powell will be the next victim to this Ethan Lane Dalton Tucker train. Roy's going to let him go. Roy actually got the wall a little bit. Oh, we're going to have a caution. And 3rd through 5th made it through it.
So you got to think Josh Conover and Shane are pretty. I think they're thankful for that caution because it did look like Ethan Lane Dalton Tucker was going to be checking out from them there.
Oh, they were gone, absolutely. I think the most thankful person on this whole race right now is Cody. McKinney, he was right in front of those two, about to go a lap down. He was sitting duck right in front of Ethan and Dalton. He wasn't going to be able to do anything. That caution just saved his rear end. His car looks clean, too. Here's his chance to reset. Come get 4 fresh tires. Stick with the pack.
As we're watching an instant replay, which we was watching it live also. Just like Roy just got up into the wall trying to let the leaders go by and just came back down and so 22. Yep, of Mark. He just got into the back of him, sitting around. Luckily, nobody else was involved.
So, I think now it's time to take 4 tires. It's probably going to be the last time unless we get another caution the rest of this race. We know they're going to have to pit one more time. I fully expect that to be fuel only, as we've seen the difference in times.
We'll sit here on pit lane and we'll watch and see if they do take tires or not. So it does look like Dalton is taking tires. And also, yep, looks like everybody.
All right.
It looks like Ethan Lane was able to win the race off of pit lane. And then Josh was able to beat Dalton Tucker out.
That's right. Well, we've been talking about him an awful lot this race. What do you think about bringing Payne up in here?
That sounds good to me.
All right. What? He's in the pre-race lobby, so let's get him up here. Payne Faust. This is Josh and Alex in the booth. You got a copy? Payne, you got a copy? Unfortunately, it looks like he had a little bit of issue with his mic, so let's go to our backup here. Shane Weinmiller, this is Josh and Alex in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, we've seen a pretty close and clean race with you. You've been top 5 most of the night. The car's still looking pretty good. What's your thoughts?
Well, I've had a couple of close slides there, but just happy to still be around and not got caught up in anything. I mean, it's about to get interesting though. It's getting close.
Yeah, it's coming down to crunch time. You guys definitely got one stop left. You've seen what Dalton and Ethan can do when they get hooked up and they get some space. What can you guys do to combat that?
Stay on their bumper and try to be there at the last few laps and see if we can hook up and get around them. That's about the only thing I know to do.
Well, we definitely wish you all the luck the rest of these 65 laps. You got a pit stop left. I'm sure you guys are trying to strategize for that. You got to stick with those fast guys. We know that. Maybe you can force them into a mistake coming on the pit road. Just do the best you can. Don't make a mistake yourself. And I hope we get to talk to you at the end of this thing.
Awesome. Thanks, man. We'll see what we can do.
All right, we'll get him back in his room here. They're coming to the green flag. And you heard him say they got to stick with him, make it be there for the end. So I think the time to ride around and play nice is getting very close to being over. I think they're definitely going to ride with him, but they're not going to just let him check out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And as we take the green flag, seems like we got a pretty clean start. As Josh Conover goes to the bottom of 1 and 2 and take the lead away from Ethan Lane.
Oh, we got a car up in the wall. Wrecking in the back.
Looks like Jason Brewer and Payne Faust. So we'll take a replay and look at it. Looks like the 22 of Mark got into the wall and then it just checked up the whole field, and Payne Faust and Jason Brewer had nowhere to go. And it looks like Dalton Tucker and Ethan Lane, pretty much everybody behind is going to be bringing down into pit lane. Not assume to top off on field, but it does look like Shane Weinmiller is going to be staying out, so he's going to be our new leader.
Well, they did about half a lap there, so he probably doesn't think the difference in fuel is going to make it. Imagine a couple of these guys that got a little scuffed up here. They're probably going to sit here and get their damage fixed the best they can. Everyone else is just topping off. We know that the 34 was involved. He's sitting on pit road trying to get it fixed. Interesting. Dalton Tucker came down and took 4 tires. I just happened to look back from the front end of the 34 car and I saw them dropping the jack on the 1. Matthew, George, Josh, and Alex in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, we've seen you fight and battle all night long. You've kind of scared me a few times when you guys had a 5-car breakaway. I kept thinking you were going to fall off the backside of it. You've done a real good job. Car looks super clean. You got a little wrinkle in the right front, but other than that, it's in one piece. You obviously know Dalton and Ethan have been teaming up and checking out on everyone. I know you guys have been content to just ride. I just talked to Shane. He said you're going to do the best you can to stick with them. That's the game plan, and make a move at the end. Is there anything in that statement you disagree with?
No, fully agree with that. I just want to stay with this lead pack. My number one goal is just to finish all the laps. I don't do many, I guess, endurance races, full length races like this. So I just want to finish all these laps and try and get a good finish.
Absolutely. When we saw earlier in the race, they didn't really check out until third, fourth, fifth place got to racing with each other, and it really slowed the momentum down. And that last run, you guys did a real good job just sticking behind him. Has there been any gamesmanship played or anything, trying to tuck up on him, see how close you can get before you really make him loose, or are you guys just content to stick with him and then contemplate the last 5 laps?
For right now, I'm just trying to stick with them. These guys up front here are really fast. Um, at the end of the run, it seems like I have a hard time hanging on. So I'm just trying to stick with them and try not to self spin.
Well, all right, man. We appreciate it. We know you're coming to green here. You got one more stop potentially under green. Good luck. Keep it in one piece. And that was Matthew George.
As they're working their way out of turn 4, we're taking green flag this time. It'll be Shane Weidmiller leading them to the green flag, followed by Roy Crump, and I think this is the farthest up in the field that he's been so far this race. He's up to second.
Yeah, I think you're accurate with that statement. I know at one point he was leading the third place pack. I haven't seen him this far up yet, so we'll see what happens. Ethan Lane immediately takes it 3 wide on Roy and says, "Sorry, buddy. I've been up here all race. I want to stay up here." He's going for the lead. That did not take long. Conover's trying to follow him. There's a little bump to Roy. We're good.
That could have been a close one there. That'd have been right in front of everybody. But that little checkup, it's allowed these 3 cars, Ethan Lane, Shane Weidmiller, and Josh Culver.
This is going to cost Matthew George. He talked to us about how he wanted to stay with the pack. Is this going to cost him? He's trying to get behind the 13. That quickie caution there that we had, that was definitely a blessing in disguise for Faust, and I think, I don't, he might be the only one. I know he was a lap down. He took the wave around. We had that quickie accident, so he was able to come in and get on the same fuel cycle as everyone else. So he's not out of it yet, and he's definitely a dark horse. Keeping my eye on Matthew right now. It looks like he's still got the backside of the second pack. I'm seeing if he can get up to them. He was talking about how at the end of a run he was really struggling. We know how hard this track is and how abusive it is on tires. This can't be helping, having to run this extra speed to catch up to the backside of everyone else.
Oh yeah, not at all. As it finally looks like Dalton Tucker and Josh Connor are going to be able to catch Ethan Lane and Shane Weidmiller. And see if they push it on up and try to take the lead away.
Looks like Dalton's going to get second here. I imagine Ethan's going to move up to the high groove on the exit, give him the draft. Looks like he is. Momentum's coming. Conover's coming with him. And who's that fifth?
That'd be
Cody
Cody
McKinney.
Yeah.
He's trying to follow him along. Hey, I've been up here much. I want to get up here. He did get a little loose, lost some momentum. Now we got that 13 car. Take number 5th. He definitely doesn't want to lose the leaders. Here comes Brian Powell to play. He knows what it's like to run that whole last run, 3-car pack all by themselves. I think for right now, these guys are going to be good, but all it takes is one checkup where you have to really get out of the throttle and say sayonara to 3-4 guys. It's like that slinky effect, but slinky only bends so far before it finally breaks. I got Faust here trying to take the spot from Weinmiller. And Cody doesn't know who he wants to follow. Looks like he's going to go down to the bottom with Faust. Close action.
I don't know if you saw it, but Jason Brewer got into the wall coming over the trial over there.
I did not see that. He has got a lot of damage and he's lost the back. Definitely down on speed right now. The only chance he's going to have is a caution to fix that damage. Matthew was behind him last time by. Looks like he's able to miss him. Car still looks good. Once again, he's trying to run down this pack.
He had a checkup for it.
Tires. We talked about Roy running second. He's now the last car in the lead lap, and with some lap down cars running subpar speed. He's gonna need a caution like Jason. I think Matthew George might be getting shuffled.
Yeah, it looked like coming out of the 2 there, he got real loose. He was able to save it.
He's still within that draft window. He has a chance, but he's got to push the car so hard that you see him get loose here in the trial. Well, that's just eating off that right rear tire. If he can just get one checkup from these guys in front of him, he'll get there. Looks like he's closing in on them, so they haven't dropped him yet. It's just he's abusing that car so much, trying to get back up to them. What else can you do?
And it seems
Don't
like the
have a choice at this point.
And it seems like the rest of these guys have done a good job so far of not letting Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker check out.
They have, and they've done a lot better job staying tighter together so far this run. You know, a couple runs ago, you saw them have a car to 2 car lengths in between each other, just riding, and then that wasn't good enough. Ethan and Dalton checked out. Now you look at them, and these guys are really staying a lot tighter for the most part. Obviously, they run a little bit different line depending on where they're in the corner, but they all come together and they're trying to stay relatively close to each other. Oh, someone's in the wall. 13 car.
He was able to save it. So
Did a whale of a job. There's the checkup that Matthew needed. He's going to be on the backside of this group. Now, does this... Looks like Cody's going to be able to stay with the top 3.
you think as long as Cody McKinney and Brian Powell can work together to catch the top 3 cars, that they won't be able to lose a draft and everybody will be grouped back up again.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to stick together. I think they're close enough now, though, that unless they really bobble up, or one of them tries to pass the other one, they're not going to lose them where they're sitting.
Oh, his
So we see
pain
the
gets loose again.
13 gets loose again, and he saves it. Man, that dude's gonna get the Allstate Good Hands Award. Now, I think he's gonna lose the draft though. 216, 17 for George in the 3, and Payne's doing 203. Unfortunately for him, he's had a whale of a race. He's gonna need a yellow. He's still struggling. He's heated up those tires. They are not happy.
So with now be 40 laps left to go in this race, we do know they'll have one more pit stop. When do you think everybody will be coming down for pit lane?
I think the smart bet is to run it as long as you can so you take as little as fuel as possible on the pit road. I would say normally if you can get a good chunk of this group to short pit together when you're within your window and then go out there and make fast times, that'd be the way to go. But we saw with Dalton and Ethan, they kind of demolished that logic that you normally use.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much, I think, at the mercy right now of doing whatever those front two do. They're not really going to have a choice otherwise. If they lose that draft to those front two, they're done. I don't care if all 4 of these cars sitting behind the front two pit together. We've just seen it time and time again. They cannot get it together like Dalton and Ethan can do to put down those lap times. So I know if I was Conover or McKinney or anyone in this group, my strategy would be I need to pit at the same time as the top 2, or the lap before or the lap after.
Yep.
That's the only acceptable window that I would think you'd have right now to be able to stay with them.
I know we did
That's
have.
just deciding when to pit. That's not even talking about getting on the pit road, not making any mistakes, taking the correct amount of fuel, getting in your box, not sliding, getting off pit road.
Yeah.
That's just the beginning of your problems.
Oh yeah. As we saw at the last time we had the green flag pit stops, they were still with Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker, but just they had a little separation on pit lane, so it allowed Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker to get out. So definitely, if we
Yeah.
have a green flag stop, they're gonna have to make sure they're perfect on pit lane.
Absolutely. They came out relative to when they came in, but they came out side by side. It was Conover, and I don't remember who the other person was now, but they had to have that little whoa up of indecision just long enough to say, hey, you get in front of me. And that's what cost them the gap to Ethan and Dalton, and that's all it took. Coming out of pit road side by side and burping it for half a second to let another guy in front of you. That is all it took. So we know we're within our window. You know, as a dark side of the moon strategy here, we're not that far into our run.
Oh yeah, well, I think we were green on lap 150.
Hitting third. So we went green 149. We're about 15 laps into our run, so a little under half a tank. If I was Dalton and Ethan and I really wanted to shake it up and put the pressure on everyone else, I would short pit right now. I know I can make it to the end. There's no green-white checkers. The 2 of us together can put down speeds faster than the 4 of them together. Catch them off guard, come to pit road together, fill up the tank, and be gone.
Oh yeah.
That's just the dark side of the moon strategy that I would do here if I was them too. Although Cody deciding to pass has really messed these guys up, and they might not have to do that at all because they're checked up, and Ethan and Dalton are gone again.
Yep.
Cody's trying to hang on, but I don't think he's going to be able to, and that's cost Conover, Powell, Weinmiller, and George everything.
Yeah, because now the gap back to Josh Conover's 1.6 seconds.
Yep. And Roy heard my dark side of the moon strategy. He's coming to pit road this time. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that fast guy with him that can make killing speed, but he's of that mindset too, that I'm in my window, I'm going to come down pit road. It's the same side of a different coin, because you're taking half a tank of fuel here. If you run this out dry, you're probably going to need a half tank of fuel anyway to make it to the end. So it's just your preference at this point. Do you want to pit now, or do you want to pit later? You're going to spend the same amount of time on pit road. You come in now, you got the better tires, more grip, you'll be able to stop a little bit better. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, 2nd through 7th here, the writing is starting to show up on the wall. They are going to have to throw a Hail Mary here. We've seen every time Dalton and Ethan get this kind of gap, it's game over until we get a yellow. Oof, unfortunately, the 3 car has blown a motor.
As they're coming out of the 4, it's Josh Conover is caught up to Cody McKinney. So we'll see maybe if they can work together and try to go down there and track down Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker.
This is their chance. This is what they need to do right now. And yeah, that's going to cost him more time. 14 cars, losing it. He's on the racing surface. He's coming off the surface. He's still on the surface. He's trying to get going. I don't think there's anyone. Yeah, no one's coming. Fortunately for him, that wasn't enough to bring out a yellow. There was no one close enough to be coming to where he was on the track. He's going to need caution. As we see, that cost Josh and company half a second.
So now you got to think with that gap being at almost 2.5 seconds from Josh Conover up to Ethan Lane, you got to think that this second pack is thinking about what can they do different on pitch strategy to try to make up that time if they come in earlier or just try to stay out even longer.
Yeah, they're in between a rock and a hard place right now. I don't think there's a win-win situation. The only thing they can hope for maybe at this point is either Ethan or Dalton speed onto pit road. It's definitely possible. You don't think either one would make that mistake, but we're getting to the end of the race. The juices are flowing. Everyone's getting amped up. Pressure's on.
as we're watching Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker pass Kevin Roy. She's I think he's 7 laps down. They're able to get by him cleanly. And as of now, we got 25 laps to go, so I would imagine any time here within the next 5 laps or so, be having pit stops.
Right now, we're just playing chess. When's the right time? Oh, close call with that car.
So it does
That was
separate.
almost bad.
Yep. That little checkup, it did separate Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker a little bit, so that's going to help Josh Conover and them.
Well, they're actually on pit road right now. Weinmiller rolled through his box.
Oh. We'll have to see where they cycle out when they come back on the track, as Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker are going into 1 and 2.
They have now lost the lap. The last thing they need is caution. Although they'll be able to take the wave around. Still, the top 2 will be able to get fresh tires.
Which it does look like Josh Conover's going to be able to get their draft, so he'll be able to dunk up behind them, which he is 1 lap down, but, you know,
He's
Ethan...
the only one.
If he can get up there with them, maybe he can put some pressure on when they come in for the pit stops, and hopefully if they make a mistake.
Now does Josh try to put the pressure on him to make him make a mistake? 20 to go. Dalton's definitely getting the run for his money with Conover all over his tail right now. We've seen everyone lose a lap while pitting. Maybe Conover's trying to push these guys out far enough ahead that you know, when they pit, he can cycle back in with them when they come off pit road. They definitely checked out from the other group. That's not a problem. They're long gone. If Dalton and Ethan make a mistake, Conover could be sitting in the catbird seat, depending on how many laps are left.
Yeah.
We obviously know he'll run slower solo, but they're building up such a gap right now back to Matthew George, who's in the middle of a whale of a race for position, just costing themselves even more time. This might be looking good for Conover, depending on how these stops go for the two leaders.
But you gotta imagine those pit stops be coming any moment.
Let's see, when we went green on 49? Yep. So that right now they're on lap 33 of this run. 34 actually. We know within the next 3 laps they'll probably be pitting 3 to 4 laps. I don't know if they'd stretch it all the way closer to 40 laps to run. We saw earlier in the race they couldn't push it that 40 laps that Conover and the rest were able to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the next 3 to 5 laps they're on pit road. Nothing's been said over the They're making us guess just like everyone else.
Yep. As we're up in the blunt cam, you can just see how much of a massive gap they put back to the 4th place Shane Miller.
Oh, absolutely. They're going into 3 now. Miller. He is now going into turn 3.
Yep, and as they're going in, they're coming out.
Yeah. So, time trial in your head. Conover across the line now. Miller, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. Across the line now. We did hear over the radio the 26 made his intentions known. He's coming into pit road this time, so. Oh, uh-oh. We almost had a wreck right behind him. Conover's going through the grass. He saves it. It's time for the money stop. How aggressive are you? Dalton's coming in a little hotter.
Does look
I
like
think they made it.
Yep.
Now, where are they going to cycle on exit? I think the only one that even remotely has a chance of being with them is Conover.
Yep, and he does have help with the 14 of Cody McKinney, so he's not going to be completely by himself, so this is going to be able to help him. So he's going into turn 3. We'll switch back to Ethan Lane and Dalton Tucker are coming out of pit lane.
Yep, they're coming off pit road right now. They still got to do the whole apron around 1 and 2. Conover's coming across the line. Oh, caution.
And that just changes everything.
Brian Powell's around. He's not solo. 11 car got the apron.
We'll go back and take a look. Looks like he just gets loose in 3 and 4.
Looks like there might have been a net code hit. It's hard to tell. Well, it definitely took out, well, I don't know if he's done, but he has a lot of damage on that 66 car.
Yeah,
We'll
Brian
see
Powell and
how
Shane
much of a
Lawnmower.
tank it really is. He is still in the lead lap along with the 11.
It looks like as right now we got 6 cars on the lead lap.
Yep. I can't imagine the 34, the 14, or the 5 are going to pit, so they're going to look to get the wave around here if Ethan Lane comes down pit road. Now, what's the call here? I would think with only 6 guys on the lead lap, even if the other guys get the wave around, they're still going to be behind you. I'd come down here and get my 4 tires. We just
Oh
did a
yeah.
full stint, didn't take tires. Yeah, I imagine everyone here has one to burn.
And do you think he might gambles and maybe just takes right fronts or right side tires?
I don't know what they're looking for wear, but I don't think I would risk that. If I'm coming down and getting any tires, I might as well take 4. They're loose enough as is. I don't think you'd want to take lefts or just rights and make it even looser. We definitely see top 3 are coming down. The guys are a lap down or staying out. Looks like all the leaders are on pit road. Yep, Jason stayed out. Cody stayed out, and Roy stayed out. So they should be getting the wave around. Ethan in his box, nice and smooth. Right sides are up. Yeah, everyone on pit road looks like they're taking 4 tires. I imagine 66 gonna get some damage fixed. And Ethan's actually gonna lose the lead.
Yeah, Dalton Tucker wins the race off of pit lane. Ethan Lane looks like he's lost 2 positions. Josh Conover was able to beat him also.
Wow. I mean, he took 4.
Yeah, for the standings, it looked like Ethan Lane just had a slower pit stop. His was 26.8. Dalton Tucker with the fastest was a 20.4, and then followed by Josh Conover 21.1.
So Tucker got the lead off pit road. We're gonna go green this time.
Yeah, so when we take the green flag, we'll have 11 laps to go.
Yep.
I know they always.
Quick word in real quick. Jason Brewer, Josh and Alex, you got us?
Yo.
Well, we know you're going green this time, so we'll be quick here. You've had a real up and down night. Your car's a little banged up, but the most important thing that could happen for you is you're back on the lead lap. Do you have a shot?
Anything's possible. Those guys get to racing and wrecking.
That's true. Well, hey, man, we just wanted to see. Figured we'd do something a little different. Take a guy that got a wave around, what his outlook's looking like. Good luck, man.
Appreciate it.
As Jason was saying there, do you think this will be the last yellow we'll have, or you think we'll have more?
I don't know. If they get far enough in here, it'll be too late if we do have yellow because there's no green white checkers. Just like old school rules. Now these cautions are not 5 laps anymore. I think they're 3. So if we get one with 5 to go, we should be able to have a restart. I think if we have one with 4 to go, we're going to be pushing it.
As we're green now, and Dalton Tucker and Josh Conover get a pretty good lead over Ethan Lane.
It's go time now. No holding back. And the question is, Conover, offensive here or defensive? How do you choose? You got to get by Tucker, but you got to keep Lane behind you. Lane's kind of making the choice for him. And Dalton's doing what he has to do. Ooh, someone's wrecking solo on the back. And collecting someone else up in it.
It is going to bring out the caution.
Joseph McKinney running all by himself. That is unfortunate.
It looks like he just gets loose, and then I believe that's Nick ran to the back of him, and I brought
Yep.
out our yellow.
So I'm thinking this will be the last caution. Those guys that just got a waiver on, here's their chance. Come down pit road, put 4 tires on. They're going to be on equal footing. I don't know if they have the car with some damage and whatnot, but like we heard from Jason Brewer, anything's possible. I think he might have got a little piece of that accident too, so he might get all the laps in, but his car looks like it's gone through Martinsville grinder.
And you got to think as the laps keep ticking down, as if we do get another caution, if you're out front and you're not involved, then pretty much you just won the race. So you take either a chance either at just sitting in the back waiting for it, and then the leader not getting involved, so then you don't get the win. But so it's gonna be interesting to see what everybody's strategy is here going to these last few laps.
All right, so I think we've pretty much interviewed everyone in the top 5, but we're down to crunch time now. I want you to pick. Who do you want me to bring up?
I say let's bring up Ethan Lane. We'll see if he'll talk to us, since he's been leading most of the race.
Ethan and Josh and Alex in the booth, get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, we've watched you and Dalton dominate all race long. We're probably going to have about 6 laps to go, maybe 5 on this restart. It's definitely go time. Friends are out the window. What do you got to do?
Front and block like hell.
We were just debating. There are no green-white checkers here. And, you know, do you try to get to first and bank on a caution, or do you think you're going to get the white flag and all hell's going to break loose?
You just try to get the first and hold on. That's probably the safest place to be, honestly. If you can hold on to it from somebody like pushing you into the corner, you definitely have a shot at keeping the lead.
So we've seen you can really get up behind a guy and get him loose. Are you going to use that, or are you going to try to jump to our outside?
We're gonna do whatever we got to do.
Well, you hear to hear, Alex. You got any questions for him?
No, that should be it.
All right. Good luck, man. This is going to be interesting. Not even sure really where he went. I thought I was trying to put him in a room and he backed out of here. Oh, I found him. I put him in the wrong, wrong room. I think he was in there with Roy. I don't remember. If you're watching this later, Ethan, I put you in the wrong room. I apologize. Lights are out on the truck. We're coming to lap 195, so that'll be 6 to go.
Well, with 6 to go, who do you think's gonna walk away with the win? Or are you gonna keep with your pick and think Matthew George?
I think honestly, it's really hard to bet against either Conover or Lane, but I know Dalton's really good at holding his line. It's just, can he block the top and the bottom and not get wrecked? I don't know. I could very easily see George or Weinmiller pulling away with this thing just because the front three guys tangle. It's going to be crazy. I look forward to it.
Okay. As we're getting ready to take the green flag and be 6 laps to go.
A little bit of a backtrack here by Conover. I mean, he might be trying to lay back just a tiny bit to get a run. He's looking. Ooh, Ethan's going to take the choice away from him. He's going up high. Solo, but he doesn't have to turn the wheel as much as he's going to be able to pitch Josh down. What's Matthew George going to do here? Looks like he's going to fall in line on the bottom. Man, they are sawing on those wheels.
And it looks like Dalton Tucker ain't gonna go up and help Ethan, and he's just gonna stay with Conover.
No, that's where you want to be. I don't think as a one car you can do it on the outside if the bottom two are hooked up. If Conover, oh,
As we have a yellow.
find out what happened here.
Looks like Jason
Brewer's
Brewer.
around. And he just self spins.
Well, right now we're sitting at 4 laps to go. It's gonna be interesting to see if they're gonna be able
I don't know if they're gonna be able to get a one-lap shootout or not. I'd hate for the race to end like that, but we were just talking about it. They had a caution in the closing laps. That could be it. Unfortunately, these last two cautions have been by self-spins, and man, you hate to see it. They didn't do anything intentional or wrong, but that just sucks for everyone else.
Oh yeah. Which with nobody taking the going down pit lane, it may even get us to go green faster.
Maybe, I'm not sure. They're still gonna do the next lap because of the lap cars. You're supposed to get one to go the lap after that. Or no, that would. It's a 3-lap caution now instead of a 4, where they changed it over the 2-mile tracks. So I don't know. It'll be close. Either we're gonna get that 1-lap shootout, or this is over. We're just not gonna know until we hit it.
Which I think we should know here as soon as I cross the line, see if the lights go out on the pace track. I think it looks like they do.
Yeah, they're thinking in server it's gonna be 1-lap shootout. Well, this is gonna be for all the marbles. Whatever happens, happens.
Yep. Can imagine nobody's going to hold anything back now. They're going to give it everything they got.
Yeah, I know. These top 3 typically aren't the dirty type, but we're at the end of a 200-lap race. I think them front bumpers are gonna be used.
Looks like here we go. We'll have 1 lap to decide it. Ethan gets a good start. He's on the outside of Josh Conover. Going into 1. As Ethan takes a 3 wide, going into 3. It'll be Ethan up to the front. As Conover gets loose.
Man, he's making me make a decision here. They're not supposed to pass or make a move before the start-finish line. And on that restart, he jumps on the outside of Conover before the line.
Yep.
if you watch the replay, he clearly jumps to Josh's outside, and he's halfway up the side of him by the time they cross the line. We told the boys in the pre-meeting that you know, we don't want to see that. Follow the guy in front of you until you're past start finish line.
Yeah, as we're watching the instant replay, he was up to halfway up on Josh when they crossed the line.
Yeah. I really don't want to do it to him, but you know, that's what we said. Understandably so. We got a upset driver on track, but you know, we lay out the rules beforehand for a reason, and unfortunately, sometimes they make you make a judgment call and back up what you say pre-race. It's one of the downsides to being an RC and an admin, but if you're not consistent and do what you say you're going to do, then everyone's going to question you and try to push your limits. So have to stand firm. I hate it for Ethan. He drove a hell of a race. And like I said, unofficially slash officially, your top 10 is going to be Dalton Tucker, Matthew George, Brian Powell, Roy Crump, Josh Conover, Shane Weinmiller, Cody McKinney. Ethan Lane's black flag is going to drop him to 8th. And then you got Jason Brewer 9th and Mark McFadden 10th. If you want to give the rest of the rundown, I'll get the other guys in here.
Alright, 11th will be Kevin Roy, 12th will be Payne Faust, 13th will be Nick, 14th will be Joseph McKinney, 15th is Martin Plute, 16th is Alexander Edelman, 17th is Colt Cook, 18th will be Keith Batson, and 19th will be Aaron Ludwig, 20th will be Carson, and 21st will be Zachary Taylor, and that'll round out your 21 car field.
All right. I caught up with our third place finisher here, Mr. Brian Powell. Somehow got through all that calamity on the last lap. I still need to go back and watch it. I was so focused on that start, trying to make a judgment call there. By the time I looked up, you're crossing the line in third. How'd you do it, man?
A little bit of luck, you could say. You guys got me in the booth?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got hold on. I got someone else talking right now. Sorry about that. Yeah. That race was kind of, you know, it had emotions all over the place. It was very exciting, and then it was very frustrating. Um, Towards the end there, a couple cautions definitely helped us out big time because I was getting frustrated. We lost the lead pack because we had to do a couple wreck avoidance and checkup, and it just killed all of our drive, and we lost the draft. So those last couple cautions, you know, with I don't know about 30 to go or so, that helped us out big time to get back to the group. And then by then it was, you know, we had something for them. We had another little incident with Shane, a little 3-car pileup, but damage wasn't too bad. I was able to get everything fixed and get back out there. So sticking in the draft, the car was still fast, so we knew we had something. Just didn't know if we had enough time, and those late cautions, like they came out, just kind of screwed everything up. But But yeah, definitely lucked into that one. We knew all along about getting out of line, which was okay, but you just couldn't get up to the quarter of the next car in front of you before the start finish line. So uh, Ethan was, he had to do what he had to do to try to get that win, and I guess he just crept up a little bit too far. So unfortunate for him, but we lucked into it, and we're able to survive out of turn 4 because it was getting hectic, and Conover and I, right before the trial, were door to door, and he kind of got the worst end of things, I think.
Yeah, I went back and was able to watch it. You went into 3, battling for 6th, and you come out of 4th, wrecking for 3rd. So that was a wild last lap for sure, man. Congratulations. Anyone you want to thank?
Like thanks to you guys in the booth. Thanks for sitting through the 200 laps and broadcasting this. It's a heck of a journey for you guys. So thanks to you guys. Thanks to Josh Conover for putting this on and getting the 87 cars, the 500 together. This was the first time I've driven these cars, like with going into practices and doing this race. So these are a lot of fun. I look forward to doing these again. But other than that, thanks to everyone that showed up and paid their entry, and it was a blast.
Absolutely, man. Congrats again.
Thanks, guys.
And we got second place, Matthew George. You got him, Alex?
Matthew George, this is Alex and Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, you come away with the second place finish tonight. How'd your race go, and how was it there at the end?
Wild. The car was getting really loose there at the end. It was hard to keep up with those guys. Going into 3 there, I got a huge push from I think it was BP. The car got really sideways there. Thought I was gonna wreck it, but it helped me get up there towards the front there, and uh, man, my first 100% race, and finishing top 3. I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, you did a great job, and especially doing 500 miles here, especially in these cars, it's got to be a workout. But great race. And Josh, you got anything for Matthew?
Yeah, I just want to say good job, man. I didn't want to jinx you during the race, but officially I picked you as my dark horse in the pre-race. Unfortunately, you came up 1 lap short, but I know you're the patient type of driver, and you like to really hang around and take care of your equipment and be there for the end. So I figured it was probably going to get really crazy at the end of this race, and you would have a decent vehicle. So good job tonight, man. I know you're probably sore. I only did about 10 laps of practice, and that kicked my butt. I can't imagine doing 190 more.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it yet, but I'm sure I will in the morning, or when I stand up.
Absolutely. Anyone you want to thank before we get you out of here? Let you celebrate.
You guys for broadcasting, all the admins, Josh Conover, putting on the show. If uh, there's another 87 race, I'm definitely gonna do this again. This was a lot of fun.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. You go have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
And that was second place, Matthew George. Let's get our race winner up here. I bet he's pretty happy. Man of the hour. Little controversy at the end, but rules are rules, and you were able to hang on enough to get first place, man. What are you thinking?
For once, something like this goes in my favor.
I hear you, man. I mean, I know we were debating up in the booth if it came down to a 1 lap shootout because we didn't know if it was going to go green or not, and we was like, it's going to get really crazy. The best position you could probably be was yours, but at the same time, I felt like you might have been in the most vulnerable position because anyone could clean your clock at any time. It got real crazy there. I only partially watched the last half lap because I was sitting there trying to confirm for sure what had happened with the 26 car in the restart. And I looked up at one point, you guys are 3 wide down the backstretch, and I'm just like, oh man. And somehow you're able to hang on to it and come across the line, take the win. What was your What was your primary strategy going into that restart?
Well, unfortunately, I've done too many, I guess, newer car races, so I completely forgot about the yellow line not being a factor. So I went down to the bottom just to hold that, and then he went below it, which is completely legal in these cars. And I thought that lost me the race, which if it wasn't for the restart, it would have. And I saw that they were side by side coming through the tri-oval, but it didn't even dawn on me that you can't do that. And as soon as they said that, I was like, well, if that didn't happen, he might not have gotten to me. So I'm not sure, but I was okay with either call. It was a fun race, and I know Ethan's not my teammate, but I thought we put a heck of a show on just being able to pull away like we did. And it sucks it happened to him, but I think it is the right call.
Yeah, and like I told Alex, man, I didn't want to have to make that call, and that's why I tried to stress it pre-race. Don't make me make this call because I'm gonna go by what I say, and then it's gonna make you upset with me, and I'm not doing anything more than enforcing what I told you pre-race. I hate it for him. He drove a hell of a race. Both of you guys did. When you're able to hook up and get some separation from third on back, you guys just powered down and pulled away. It looked like two Bill Elliots out there in the mid 80s just checking out from everybody. It was crazy. And, I really wanted to see you guys be able to have a good finish, which you did. But unfortunately, for him, he lost all of his positions. And I'd have been a lot more excited if I could have called that without having to weigh in a penalty. But regardless, you did what you had to do. You were able to bring it home first. Did a hell of a job. This was a lot of fun. Our first time working together in the broadcast booth. Just trying to get the swing of things. Anyone you want to thank and look forward to?
I just appreciate you and Alex doing this. I did it last night, and broadcasting's definitely not for me. it it takes, I wouldn't say a special someone to do it, but it definitely takes a certain type of person that can basically just see and talk and basically do all that at the same time. And it's a lot harder than people think. And just appreciate you guys doing that. And overall, just appreciate everybody for showing up. It was a pretty clean race for what it was. It's hard to drive, and when you're in a pack, it's extremely hard. And we were lucky to break away from everybody, and it made it a lot easier. But still, isn't an easy car to drive by no means. And uh, I'm gonna give a shout out to Ethan just for us able to do that. I thought it was the best strategy just to stay clean, and he ran a heck of a race. And sucks it ended that way, but I'm also happy at the same time because I tend to be on the short end of that stick a lot, and for once I'm not. And just thanks for Josh for putting this on. I think it's awesome for these exhibition races like this. Uh, you can kind of forget about points and just go out there and have fun. There's money on the line, but it's not enough to make you really mad if something happens. So it's just a blast to do these.
Oh, absolutely. And I got a comment from him a couple hours before this started. I wasn't even sure when it was starting, asking if I wanted to be in the broadcast booth in RC, and I literally joined the league about 5 minutes before it went live. So this kind of broke my broadcasting cherry, and I was glad that Alex was there broadcasting and commentating with me. We did an okay job, I think. We had some dead space, but for the first time working together, I thought we did pretty good. You guys put on a good show. There's a couple points times where you two hooligans were just so far out front, it was hard to talk about anything. But you guys did a great job. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Well, Alex, that wraps her up. Final thoughts?
It seemed like a good race. I think we had a lot more cars finished than what everybody thought, just because normally with these cars, and you always have the big one. But overall, it was a good race, and I mean, you hate to see that there at the end, but rules are rules, and you gotta follow by them.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know what to expect coming into this race. I knew there was a very difficult vehicle to drive, regardless of the track, and the fact that we're running the old Daytona just compounded that tenfold. I thought everyone, for the most part, did a whale of a job. We had a couple single car spins that got away from people, and it happens. It's a long race. People lose concentration. People are damaged. Their vehicles are driving worse than normal. It is what it is. I'm glad we were able to at least get a one-lap shootout, and we didn't end this under caution. Uh, the results would have been a tiny bit different, but we would have had the same winner regardless. I hate it for Ethan. I don't want to have to make that call, but like you said, rules are rules. We'll learn from this. Everyone that ran this will learn from this. Any races in the future that bring the same rules, they'll know. And I'm not sure what the next exhibition race is, but I'm certainly looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'm also looking forward to it also, and hopefully for the next one I'll be out there and be able to participate.
That'd be awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it tonight. Everyone that tuned in and watched, if you give us a like, a follow, final thoughts, comment on our podcast, let us know what we can do to make it better. We appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.